Hi guys, it's me. I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to hide bangs and do a bandana look at the same time, kind of like my profile picture. Rachel was asking about how to do a bandana look without doing the Rosie the Riveter, where it covers your whole back of your head. And usually I don't even wear my hair like that unless I have it in rollers or something so I can hide the rollers. This is just kind of a normal everyday look for me, just a quick pull up and go. This, as you can tell, I kind of have a really far back part. It's because I have short bangs and I like to cover them. They're just growing out from when they were Betty bangs. So I like to pull a deep part, and you know, honestly, if you didn't really want to do what I'm doing, you could just refine it with some hairspray to hide it and just pull it and clip it up to the side, and it would look like you have longer bangs, and if you're kind of sick of your small bangs. So now I'm going to be taking what I've got in my hands, and this will keep falling down, but I can just hairspray that when I'm ready for it to be pulled up. There's several ways that you can do the curl that I'm gonna do. I mean, you can do it just like I did, curl it around and kind of hide anything that pokes out at the bottom, or you can, for the longer hair girls, I really recommend rolling it around your fingers like this and twisting it up like you would a pin curl. If you don't know how to do a pin curl, it's really easy to find tutorials on that, but I can also make another one later on if anyone wants to see that. And then, you know, just kind of pin this in place here. Something that one of my friends that's been a hairstylist for a really long time always reminds me, because I can do other people's hair like no problem, but my own it's always super difficult. Don't ever let your bobby pins stick out, especially when you're doing a vintage style like this. So always do them in towards your curl. So you can kind of see there I've got a rough start to my little curl. It just looks like I've got a cute little side twist. So I'm just going to go through and kind of refine this really fast. Just pin it a couple more times just so it doesn't come out of place so easily. Okay, so there's that. Now I have the rest of my hair to deal with. I'm not going to do anything too fancy, but I can show you a couple different techniques. We can kind of follow along with this and create some makeshift pin curls. Not anything super clean, because people aren't really going to be focusing where your hair is going to show much. They're going to focus more on the front and the way the bandana looks and everything like that. So you just start taking up sections. My quick way to do this is just to start pulling up sections. There's really no rhyme or reason, but mostly you just want everything pulled up to one central location so your bandana is not bulging out back here if you did a bunch of curls back here and then you don't have some bald spots, because you want everything to look like it was just pulled up and like tossed in a pile of curls or something like that. So what you can do is you can just kind of twist your hair like this and wrap it around in a little knotted looking thing. You know, it doesn't really matter if this is pulled up tight or if it's loose, because the bandana is going to cover this. So you just take a couple bobby pins and secure that little knot of hair so it just looks like that. It'll look messy, but messy doesn't really bother me because it's just a quick look. And you can do this with hair scarves too. You don't necessarily have to use bandanas. I actually have to start using hair scarves more because they don't really allow me to wear bandanas at school. I have to find any way I can to break the rules so I can have my hair simple every day. So there's that. And that's pretty much one half of my head there. So we'll just keep pulling. Like, I like to go around like this because I like to really pay attention to the front parts to really make sure they're up there, because they play the biggest part in where my bandana is gonna go and everything. The other way, I'll show you the pin curls on this right here to kind of do a nicer look. Like, honestly, it really doesn't matter how you're pulling the rest of this up. Like, as you can see, it's kind of just making a little messy look. Okay, so I'll just pull that up. I actually have learned a knotting technique where you knot your hair and it makes a really cool updo that I'll have to do a tutorial on, because it's really fun and it's super easy and fast to do. Okay, so this is not like a typical size for me. If I'm doing a pin curl, I'd probably just have a smaller section like that. To do a really simple pin curl, which is kind of difficult right now just because my hair is so layered and textured out, but you know, you can do it any certain way. You know, the way that I was taught and the way that I learned is so different than the way that I've learned in beauty school. So as you can see, it's just kind of turning into a little curl that I would eventually lay flat. And I'll get more in depth with that another time, but there's a way that you can do it to where it'll actually make it look like you have finger waves. There's real patterns to doing pin curls just because it's been around forever, so it's super easy. So this is my last section, and I'm just gonna make sure to pull it up right here at the top. And you kind of don't want any one side or one place to be sticking up more than the other, just because it'll look kind of off when you put your bandana on. It'll look kind of silly. So, got my bandana, and it's all folded. This is the way I fold it. It's folded in half with the points coming in. And depending on how small you want it when you actually have it on your head, you can fold the points in more, or you can just leave them. I'm trying to show you guys. So yeah, that's just the way I do it. Mine has been worn so many times, you know, I have to go out and iron it just because it will get really wrinkly after a while of wearing it, because it gets my hair is always wet when I put a bandana. Okay, so we're just taking it just like that, tying it up, and there. I usually do mine more to one side than the other. It's usually this side. I feel like I gravitate more to tying it on this side, but that's just kind of a generic look. A lot of the time you'll have, when you do it the way I just did it, you'll have little random hairs sticking out, and you can just take it and tuck it all right in, because I don't typically like having a bunch of hair hanging out. And then you just pin up the sides. It depends on how much hair you have. I have a lot, so I usually pin it twice crossing, so it stays more secure that way. And then, you know, towards the end you can just go back in and touch up your bangs and hairspray the crap out of them so they're nice and hard. I even have some bumps there, so I just want to kind of comb that out and just hairspray it. And there's always different ways. Mine is kind of up more today just because my bangs are wanting to poke out. So there is my regular bandana look, my little pin curl. I just wanted to touch on some of the other things that some of you guys were asking. I know Emma had said something about wanting her eyes to look bigger, and the big thing that they'll tell you in the industry is to line your eyes, your inner rims, with white. You can use eyeshadow or eyeliner. I have a white eyeliner that I use, but if I don't have that with me, I'll just do a really bright white eyeshadow. It can be any kind of white, but it will just make your eyelashes pop, you know, when you put the mascara on, and it definitely makes your eyes look bigger. And doing the inner rims right here with white eyeshadow is really good as well. I will be doing a straightener curling. There's different ways to curl with a straightening iron. I have a special curling iron from my school that I use. It is not like a normal curling iron. It's called a Marcel iron, and I can show you some ways to use it if you are interested in going and purchasing one. Any makeup that you guys are interested in learning about, you know, specifically like MAC or Sephora brands or anything like that, any applications or different eye styles that you're looking for, lipsticks, any skincare products, anything like that, any styles really I can help you accomplish. I'm more than interested in sharing with you the Paul Mitchell product line, kind of informing you about some of the stuff that we have, and why I do not advocate box dye. Because I will tell you, especially later on, why I firmly will not use box dye anymore, especially after starting school and being told the negatives and the benefits to it, and why I may sound like a snob sometimes, but when you guys ask about shampoos and conditioners, our Paul Mitchell line or any salon brand is going to be the best for your hair. But that will be something I touch more on later, just more specific reasons. But I will say that if you are trying to use something like Pantene or Dove or any of the Target brands, Walmart brands, just anything that you can find in a drugstore or a grocery store, you don't want to use. Even if they say they're Paul Mitchell or they're John Frieda, don't use them because they're most likely black market. When you use something on your hair that is not high quality, especially after you've gotten it done at a salon, they told us something at school that really resonated with me, that kind of makes me a shampoo snob or a product snob. If you go in and you pay to get all this money done on your hair for the color, the cut, and everything, and then you go and use a cheap thing, it's like buying a really nice expensive piece of clothing and then putting it in the washer and dryer when it needs to be dry cleaned. Like, take care of your product, which is your hair, and make it look good, and it'll last longer. Because even though it may sound crazy that a stylist would want you to not have to come in so much because your hair's fading, because obviously we make money when we dye your hair, we also make more money and have more people coming in if your hair stays nice. So just keep requesting to me, and I will try to make videos as much as possible. You might even see some friends of mine from school helping me, or I might even make some videos at school, who knows. So yeah, just keep requesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sorry that I look like a dork. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for giving me the opportunity. Bye!